Continuing coverage now. This Friday will be 10 years since the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando. 49 people were murdered and many more left with both visible and invisible scars.
Our Florida Capitol Bureau Chief Matt Hoffman live outside the Senate right now. Matt, how have gun laws changed since Pulse?
Yeah, hard to believe 10 years has gone by already. You may recall it wasn't all that long ago, after Pulse, after Parkland, that lawmakers on both sides of the aisle right here at the Capitol passed gun reform, red flag laws, a waiting period, raising the age to buy a handgun. But sentiments are starting to swing back the other way. In fact, just this week, Florida's AG said that waiting period is unconstitutional. Florida Attorney General James Uthmeier says the state's 3-day waiting period between buying a gun and receiving it does not comply with the Second Amendment. Nearing a decade since the Pulse nightclub shooting, the Giffords advocacy group says they're pushing back. They argue Floridians accept sensible gun reform regardless of their party.
Attorney General deciding to roll back one of the most important gun safety measures that's been passed would be tremendously detrimental, and we plan to fight him every inch of the way.
Giffords was formed by Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, herself a victim of an assassination attempt. They say progress in Florida comes in fits and starts. They believe there's much more acceptance of the LGBT community now than 10 years ago, but at the same time, Congress has only passed one gun reform law this generation.
And social change in this country is uneven and it takes too long, but when it happens, it can happen really quickly. And most of the time, it happens because people don't give up.
Especially after the 2018 Parkland shooting, lawmakers passed bipartisan reform, like red flag laws. But talks in Tallahassee now mostly center around protecting Second Amendment rights. The AG posted on X this week, every government office, including mine, exists to protect your God-given rights as enshrined in the U.S. Constitution. That's why we're settling a case that declares Florida's law unconstitutional. Now, this Saturday, Giffords is going to host a panel moderated by survivor Brandon Wolf. They'll be joined by the Human Rights Campaign and Equality Florida, among others. You can find the details on our website. We just updated that story a moment ago. For now, in Tallahassee, I'm Matt Hoffman, WCTV Eyewitness News.
Yeah, important discussion and debate. Thank you, Matt.